Quilter's newsletter, Machine Quilting Tips and Techniques, is brought to you by Bernina, made to create, and Benartex, fabric for quilters by quilters.
Hi, this is Connie Fanders with Quilter's newsletter, Machine Quilting Tips and Techniques with Bernina. And today we're talking about free motion quilting. And free motion quilting can be a challenge if you're trying to get those perfectly stitched stitches and to make them perfectly even. Well, Bernina has a tool to help you do that perfect, beautiful free motion quilting, and that's what I'm going to talk about today. Bernina has an accessory that fits on most of our quilting edition machines called the Bernina Stitch Regulator. And the Bernina Stitch Regulator is just a foot that goes onto the machine and then plugs into the machine. So let me show you how this attaches to the sewing machine. We are going to first start by attaching it just like we do any other foot to our Bernina machine, and then the cable just inserts into the back of the machine. When that cable is put into the machine, the screen automatically changes into Bernina Stitch Regulator mode. And you can see here on the screen, I have a few options. I can stitch in Bernina Stitch Regulator mode 1, or I can go in mode 2. I'm going to first start with stitching in mode 1. So I'm going to bring my quilt project over to the machine. You would want to stitch in mode 1 when you are wanting to do a securing stitch at the beginning of your stitching, because it is constantly stitching no matter if the fabric is moving or not. To turn the stitch regulator on, we have an on-off button in front of the machine, or you can use the foot control. I myself prefer to use the start-stop button. So I'm just going to start the stitch regulator. And you can see it's just stitching in place. And then when I move my fabric, it just begins to sew. And you can hear the machine sewing faster or slower according to how fast or slow I am moving the fabric. Therefore, it is making all of my stitches very even and uniform as I'm stitching. Then when you get to the end of where you're stitching, you simply hit the thread cutter and it knots it and it clips your threads. So that's how easy it is to use the Bernina Stitch Regulator in mode 1 when you are trying to free motion quilt. Stay tuned for our next episode when we talk about Bernina Stitch Regulator stitching in mode 2.
Quilter's newsletter, Machine Quilting Tips and Techniques, is brought to you by Bernina, made to create, and Benartex, fabric for quilters by quilters.